College Live.
The Black College Live.
Yeah. This is a Gimme 5 show with Jay Walker and Tiffany. Yeah. You gon' have to give me 5 fingers on it. Right now.
I'm all excited. You see that?
Wait until they see the strength and here to win. This Black College Live, I'ma need 5 on it.
This is what it's all about.
Overtime on it. Lights out.
I'm gonna put him in the front runner seat to be the Black College Player of the Year.
Say for fun, I've been going done. They be still trying to clone it. From FAMU to Grambling, I'm on it. Stand on it. Marching 100 how you want it.
We always like to highlight the fraternities and sororities.
119!
What I wanna. Big body, I don't even need a sponsor.
Homeboy was
I be
balling.
stacking comma at the comma. Kiss a guy with good karma. I get it different, I be working on my off day. Into that paper, I go underlay. I get it different, I be working on my off day. Into that paper, I gon' have to give me 5 fingers on.
Yo, what it do? It's homecoming season here at South Carolina State University in Orangeburg. Jay Walker, Tiffany Greene, welcome in to Black College Live. Great show on hand for you. We got the Zetas repping as well. Jay, what's up?
Man, when I think of Orangeburg, South Carolina, I think like football blue bug. But more importantly, it's time for some MEAC football. SWAC's been dominated. Now MEAC conference play is getting underway. We're here. But I want to go back. Can I go back a week?
Take it back.
Last week, we were in Huntsville, Alabama. Huntsville, Jackson State, Alabama A&M. What an impressive job by the Fighting Prime Times down there. Jackson State dominated, proving why the hype is all real there. Dominating performance. What's Alabama A&M going to do? And I want to give a special shout out to, they made a change at Jackson State in the play calling. Former JSU legend T.C. Taylor, he's now responsible for the play calling. They put up 61 points last week. Uh-oh, what's going on at D I Love?
Well, Jay, you are jumping ahead because we're going to dive into all of that, who the Tigers will play today. But we are here on the campus of South Carolina State University. And how about the fighting Buddy Pough? What's up with that? As the Bulldogs looking to start off conference play if they can get a W against Morgan State.
Well, let me do this for you. Let's get right into it, right? We're here in Orangeburg. Everybody needs to know what they need to know, right? How about this? The 5 things you need to know about South Carolina State football. Football down here in Orangeburg. It all starts with that defense. For decades, it's been defense is mandatory, offense optional. Well, this year it's a little different. They're playing more offense than defense. They got to fix that. Number 4, they've got 4 Pro Football Hall of Famers. 4 guys in the Pro Football Hall of Fame from South Carolina State, along with other legendary players. 3, the band, they go by the name of the Marching 101. As they like to say, Tiff, when 100's not enough, how many you need?
One more,
101. 2, give it up to Buddy Pugh. Buddy Pugh, the man, the myth, the legend. He's come in here and done a great job of winning on a continual basis as a coach here. But the number 1, there's always only one number 1 down here. Number 1 is Hall of Famer Willie Jeffries. Head coach Willie Jeffries, the first African-American to become a Division I football coach. And on the bubble, I'm going to put some of their players, some of the legends, Joe Mumford, Chartrick Darby, Robert Porsche, all these great players they got to go along with the new school guys, Javon Hargrave, Darius Leonard. They all played here.
Oh, you're taking away some of my tips 2 cents because I was going to say the new school guys are the ones who are adding to that flavor and continuing that legacy as well here.
One thing we also noticed too, it's always defense. I didn't mention too many offensive names. I could say
shout out to Alex
Marshall,
Taylor, the offensive lineman. Come on.
Marvin Marshall, Freddie Solomon. But about then it's going to stop. This is a defensive school right here.
As we take a look at the MEAC standings, obviously the MEAC play is underway. Howard,
the Bison on top. Wait a minute.
Currently
Howard
with a win
1
last week against Morgan State.
HU, you know.
Half of the teams on a bye week this week, but you look at Norfolk State also in the running. South Carolina State, the preseason number 1, Jay.
Hey, preseason number 1, conference play. Get rid of the right side of that graphic, 1 and 4. That doesn't matter. What are the Bulldogs going to do right now? They were projected to be the number 1 team, but the number 1 team right now, if you ask me, playing football out of that group is Norfolk State. Norfolk State's got something going right there. But can I say it one more time? On top of the conference standings, HU, you know.
for perhaps this week only as we take a look at the SWAC standings. And you already mentioned Jackson State, Alabama A&M. That SWAC East is stacked with Alabama State, Florida A&M as well. You know, those teams are going to be in contention today along with a few others. And Jackson State right now running away, that looming large, that loss to the Tigers for Florida A&M earlier this season.
Can they recover? That early loss, FAMU may be one of the best teams in the country, but that one loss to Jack State's tough. You take a look at the West Side, give it up to Aaron Dooley. Like Prairie View A&M playing some great football, but look at Alcorn State. Everybody thought the cone was over with, but Alcorn's right there in striking distance because they are. The last time we had a fall championship, they were the representative in the Celebration Bowl for the SWAC over and over again.
They're taking on the Mississippi Valley State team that they are doing a great job because they have a lot of fight, and then we say that week in and week out about them, and the Delta Devils, not an easy road trip, but because they're in the SIP, it's a little bit different, Jay.
The fighting dances. That's what I call them. They take on the personality of their coach. They're doing a great job. They've got some upset wins right there. Let's see how long they're going to keep it going, or is the wheels going to fall off? I don't think so because they're here to stay.
You were able to tease some of the key matchups that we'll look into today, and when you go back to Huntsville, they are hosting Florida A&M, and that's an intriguing matchup. Why for you, Jay?
Because the fact is, Alabama A&M, they're reeling right now. They've got a quarterback with a Quill Glass, but they only scored twice last week in a championship-type game. They've got to get that offense going. When they get it going, they score points better than anybody. But right now, they've been slowed down a little bit. We talk about FAMU. We know Willie Simmons is great offensively, but the defense, give it up to the Rattler defense, #1 in the SWAC, shutting people down. Let's see if A&M can get it together.
All right, so Alabama State and Jackson State, it's homecoming in Jackson, Mississippi, and right now the Tigers are in the top 25.
#1 team right there, proving it on and off the field. The quarterback is great. The defense is great, fantastic. But this is the payback game. Remember last time in the spring, it was Alabama State when they beat Jackson State and they put on the scoreboard, must be the money, kind of mocking Coach's prime. So we'll see. You know that's on the mind of Jackson State. Now you got to go to Jackson. Oh, they're going to try and make a message with that win. It could get ugly.
You know what, Jay? We had such a meaty opening segment to this Black College Live, and we got to go back to last weekend because Texas Southern, you have to tip your hat to them. The Tigers were able to take care of business against Southern, and Andrew Brody was the dude to do it, the signal caller, helping his team beat Southern for just the second time since 1996. They have another shot to take down a blue blood today against Grambling State. So plenty more to go here from Orangeburg, South Carolina. We'll see the Zetas a little bit later in our show. Of course, we got to shout out the Hall of Famers as well. Plenty more to go here from Black College Live.
Black College Live is brought to you in part by the Cricket Celebration Bowl.
This is where the formula ends and the magic begins. We take the mold, shake the mold, and break the mold. From late nights in the gym to later nights in the library, we grind. Because if you think greatness is a game, think again. Here, nothing shines unless we all do.
There will come a time in your life that you'll have to ask yourself,
are you next? The next Hall of Famer.
I hear you call it.
The next great leader.
Element in the periodic table. Yes,
the next nuclear engineer.
The next great musician.
Are you next?
Are you next?
I'm next.
South Carolina State University. Are you next?
For more than 150 years, Morgan State University has positioned its graduates to grow the future and lead the world. Morgan students receive a world-class education, engage in meaningful research, and uplift their communities. Over 126 programs conveniently available online or on Morgan's beautiful campus. Designated the national treasure, there's something for everyone. Pursue your purpose. Progress in your passions. Achieve the promise of career fulfillment. Your Morgan experience awaits. Choose Morgan.
When was the last time you experienced something different? to support Black-owned restaurants.
You're watching Black College Live with Tiffany Greene and Jay Walker.
Hailing from Baltimore, Maryland, the Morgan State University Bears, growing the future, leading the world, Earl Graves, another one of those notable alumni to come out of that fantastic institution. Monique, the comedian, Denise Williams. Let's hear it for the boys, and our very own Bill Roden as well. As we welcome you back to Orangeburg, South Carolina. And Jay, obviously, there's been some shakeup over the last couple of weeks in your Cricket Bowl Celebration Bowl rankings, power rankings. And so for you, kind of unveil for us what it looks like this week.
The corn is coming. They were on the bubble most of the year. Now all corn is coming, so they're there. Look out for them. Number 4, that's a tough one because they could be anywhere from 2, 3, 4, and 1. But I'm putting the Rattlers there right now. They've got a lot of momentum. They've got the quarterback figured out with Stanley there. Rashawn, the quarterback, so they've got the play going. 3, Norfolk State, love the job that they're doing down there. Dawson Odoms has the Spartans playing good football. They believe they're the best team in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Number 2, Prairie View A&M, we talked about it early. Eric Dooley has them playing well. The Panthers, we saw them put on an impressive performance against Arkansas Pine Bluff. But the number 1 team, surprise, 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 it's Jackson State University. They've got it going on. Who's going to knock them off? I don't see anybody in the near future that could be a problem.
Yeah, towards the end of the season is when their schedule starts to heat up with Southern and Alcorn State to close out the regular season. When we talk about Morgan State and the head coach, Tyrone Wheatley, he's another Hall of Famer, another great player that played in the NFL. We remember his days from Michigan, but now he's leading the Bears. And in his 3rd season, the question is, can they right the ship? Can they continue to build the culture? And after last week's loss, he says, look, we've got to get back to basics, focus on the fundamentals, and execute.
We had a chance to put some points on the board, and undisciplined penalties where guys were trying to do too much. All you have to do is just do your job, get in the right place, and we scored a touchdown. Drop passes, right? Trying to catch the ball before you run. You learned that in grammar school. So our guys right now, they're pressing. They're trying to get outside the process, which I do appreciate. They're trying to play hard, and they are playing hard. But like Coach said, we just got to get these guys dialed back in and just understand all you have to do is just do your job, and it will come for you. So when you ask the question, are we close? Yes, we're close. We're very close.
Well, I'll tell you this, Jay, Tyrone Wheatley has a chance to get his Bears on track to pick up their first conference win if they can take down South Carolina State today. That's
going to be a tough job. And we saw Morgan State a week ago, and they really have to trust and believe in the process. They haven't got a victory all season. The offense struggled. One thing I will say, that defense fought hard. Although they gave up 27 points, they only gave up 3 points at halftime. It was the fact that the offense couldn't keep up, and the defense was on the field over and over and over again. That broke. So if the offense can catch up with the defense, they've got a chance at improvement. But right now, you got to believe in your coach, and we'll see what the Bears are made of.
Well, I'll tell you this. We look forward to hearing from head coach Buddy Pugh of South Carolina State later in this show. But let's also take a look at some of the notable performances we've seen across HBCU football over that last week. We go back to Washington, D.C., and Quentin Williams recording the longest touchdown pass in Howard University history.
Oh man, Ted Wright just lost another record, but give the Bison credit. Williams played a fantastic football game.
And how about Syvion Wilkerson, the MEAC leading rusher from Delaware State? He is continuing to do his thing as well. We'll be back.
This is where the formula ends and the magic begins. We take the mold, shake the mold, and break the mold. From late nights in the gym to later nights in the library, we grind. Because if you think greatness is a game, think again. Here, nothing shines unless we all do.
For more than 150 years, Morgan State University has positioned its graduates to grow the future and lead the world. Morgan students receive a world-class education, engage in meaningful research, and uplift their communities. Over 126 programs conveniently available online or on Morgan's beautiful campus. Designated the national treasure, there's something for everyone. Pursue your purpose, progress in your passions, achieve the promise of career fulfillment. Your Morgan experience awaits. Choose Morgan.
A champion will rise in Atlanta December 18th.
The Cricket Celebration Bowl is back, featuring a matchup of two HBCU conference champions, MEAC versus SWAC. Bragging rights will be on the line both on the scoreboard and through the Battle of the Bands. Come celebrate the heritage, pageantry, and tradition of HBCU football at one of the world's premier venues, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Visit thecelebrationbowl.com for more information. See you in the A this December.
There will come a time in your life that you'll have to ask yourself, are you next?
The next Hall of Famer.
I hear you call it.
The next great leader.
Elements in the periodic table? Yes.
The next nuclear engineer.
The next great musician.
Are you next?
Are you next?
I'm next.
South Carolina State University. Are you next?
This one's for every sports fan who just spent the entire game explaining to someone the entire game. You've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Knowledge, duty, honor. That's the motto of South Carolina State University here in Orangeburg, South Carolina. Shout out to Mr. Jim Clyburn, Democratic U.S. Representative, did an outstanding job in that 2020 election. How about Cara McCullough as well, Miss USA 2017. Hey, we saw him in a commercial, and now here he is with us live and in person. Coach Oliver Buddy Pugh, the winningest coach all time here at South Carolina State University. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Look, how many years has this been, buddy?
Close to 20. Yeah, how about that deal?
The Dean of Coaches within the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. And for your group this year, every season presents something new and something different. What do you take away from this year's squad?
Well, you got to keep your head up and you got to keep plugging. We got a situation here where we played a couple guaranteed games on the road and in some pretty tough places, and at the same time, you got to keep fighting on through those particular situations. So we are going to start the conference now. We feel very confident in the fact that we can get into this conference and make some noise. So, that's our big goal at this point.
Jay talked about earlier being known for your defense, but what do you think about your offense this year?
Well, we got a guy, Corey Fields, that can throw it around pretty good, and we got a couple wide receivers, and some of those kind of guys, you got to get them the football. So, I'm thinking that we've got enough of an offensive attack to, to balance us off. Generally, we are mostly a defensive football team, and when things go bad on defense around here, it's real serious business. I'm telling you, we're concerned, but at the same time, offensively, we feel that we can, maybe balance the load this year.
Coach, I know you've got a game to coach against Morgan State today, but give me that one star, that one player, because you're always so good about identifying talent that we should keep our eye on.
Shaq Davis today, big old wide receiver #1. Let's hope that he has a big game and a lot of big catches.
All right, y'all ready for the Bulldogs to deliver a homecoming win here from Orangeburg, South Carolina? Coach Pugh, we appreciate you so much for your time. Now let's talk about some of those terrific Pro Football Hall of Famers on both sides. As we know, Morgan State has a collection of 4 along with South Carolina State. We think about Deacon Jones, Donnie Shell, who's on campus as well, showing love to him, Harry Carson, Marion Motley. Those are the 4 Pro Football Hall of Famers. And then you look on the other side for Morgan State, there's Lynn Ford, there's Leroy Kelly, and Roosevelt Brown. I mentioned 4, but guess what? I left one off the list, and that was purposeful. Why? Because they like to call him the Honey Bear, the All-American linebacker for the Bears, none other than Willie Lanier. Let's let you know a little bit about this terrific Bears linebacker.
In 1967, Chiefs coach Hank Stram drafted Willie Lanier to compete for the starting middle linebacker position.
We don't particularly care what color he is, what nationality, what anything. The only concern we have is bringing them in with the idea of competing for our squad, and if they earned a right to be a member of our 40-man squad, then they're going to be here.
The lack of bias was one that was extremely impressive because the relationships were pure, and it wasn't something that was really pushed, but I think the individuals understood that if there was going to be accomplishment at the highest level, that everyone had to understand each other's differences and each other's similarities.
It wasn't a hoorah, we have a black middle linebacker in those days. It was hoorah, we got a guy in there that knows his stuff, and he will hit you and he will hurt you if you don't watch out. He had a great ability to read the plays. He would line up and he would come
Brown knocked me back, and he would hurt you when he hit you.
For 11 seasons, Willie Lanier played middle linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs, and he was All-Pro, All-NFL, or All-AFC from 1968 through 1975.
Going up the middle with Willie, it was almost impossible. I think the best in the business during that time. He was so quick. They couldn't block him. He was a hard hitter. They just couldn't manage him.
My greatest asset would be the leverage that I have from my height. And this leverage gives me a position, a chance to really fight off blockers a little bit lower and get into plays maybe a little bit better. After a good, clean, hard hit, I've won. I'm the victor.
He was the quarterback on defense. I mean, he'd call the plays.
Let's go. Give it here. 4-3 gap zone.
And he was pretty smart.
Yep, that's a good summation.
Very, very smart.
That's a good summation.
Lanier had the complete respect of his peers.
Guys gonna get down, man. Down up front, baby. Get a knee.
In the 1969 divisional playoffs against the defending champion New York Jets, Lanier rallied his team to a heroic goal line stand.
There's a running play to Mansell behind right guard. It is hit at the goal line by Lanier and Gary Mays. Running play coming off the Mathis, stops at the goal line. Lanier hits it, and again the Jets did not make it.
The Chiefs won the game, and Lanier led them to a victory in Super Bowl IV as well.
What a moment for all of the Kansas City Chiefs. They're beating the best that the NFL has to offer out here today.
I just enjoyed the opportunity to play against Willie because he was a great player. A Hall of Fame football player.
Willie Lanier, and you see those impressive stats. And Jay, what stands out to me most is the fact that one game missed in his last 10 years of play.
That, considering his style of play. He was a hitter. When you talk about Willie Lanier, he was one of those old school phone booth guys. To be that physical and only miss that one game, you see why he was Hall of Fame worthy and why Morgan State was such a dominant force when he was on campus.
Jay, let me hit you with that. That bear hug tackling style that he created. That's why that was called the honey bear right there. You felt that? You felt that?
You got a little thump.
Had that thump. How about we got some more thump on the way with Zeta Phi Beta in the house. They are our Greek of the week. And of course, Coach Chef cooking up something good here from South Carolina. Come back with us on Black College Live.
Black College Live is brought to you in part by the Cricket Celebration Bowl.
This is where the formula ends and the magic begins. We take the mold, shake the mold, and break the mold. From late nights in the gym to later nights in the library, we grind. Because if you think greatness is a game, think again. Here, nothing shines unless we all do.
You fired up the grill for one hot dog? Seriously?
Hot dogs, better with Pepsi.
For more than 150 years, Morgan State University has positioned its graduates to grow the future and lead the world. Morgan students receive a world-class education, engage in meaningful research, and uplift their communities. Over 126 programs conveniently available online or on Morgan's beautiful campus. Designated the national treasure, there's something for everyone. Pursue your purpose. Progress in your passions. Achieve the promise of career fulfillment. Your Morgan experience awaits. Choose Morgan.
There will come a time in your life that you'll have to ask yourself, are you next?
The next Hall of Famer.
I hear you call it.
The next great leader.
Elements in the periodic table? Yes,
The next nuclear engineer.
The next great musician.
Are you next?
Are you next?
I'm next.
South Carolina State University. Are you next?
You're watching Black College Live with Tiffany Greene and Jay Walker.
Shout out to the blue and white of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, founded in 1920, a community-conscious and action-oriented organization. Zora Neale Hurston, Cheryl Underwood, Minnie Ripperton, Gwendolyn Brooks, some of the notable names a part of this fantastic sorority. And for more, let's check out the Psi Alpha and Mu chapters from Zeta Phi Beta. Hey, ladies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right now, get
I
it.
like
You know what? Yesterday,
you know, bring a little yard to the atmosphere, to the
oh,
tailgate.
absolutely, absolutely. You know what? We were on campus yesterday, and we saw a yard fest and a step show on campus. So thank you so much to the Psi Alpha and Mu chapters of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
They brought it.
They did. I loved it. Yeah.
Like that. The blue, what, big blue or something like that, or blue? They have a nickname.
Blue and white.
Blue and white.
Come on, come on.
The Zetas. All right, you're Greek. I'm not.
That's
I'm
okay. That's okay. We're gonna learn you.
We're
gonna learn you here today.
I was worried about those pads. What's gonna happen in between the lines, not on the stage for a step show.
Okay, that's cool.
Right?
That's cool. So we talk some football right now. We preview Morgan State at South Carolina State. And first, when you look at Morgan State, obviously they've slipped up thus far. Still searching for their first win, and here's their remaining schedule.
Yeah, winless, it doesn't get any easier right now. But if they can turn it around right now, it'll go a long way. If they can win today and then beat Norfolk State on the 30th, oh wow, then they'll be controlling their own destiny. So all's not over for Morgan State. They have to turn around right now. Their defense is playing well. Offense has to step it up.
And don't forget, Morgan State did beat North Carolina A&T. That was the signature win
upset every year,
of
like 2 years in a row.
Tyrone Wheatley. Hey, look, it still stands right now, but they're looking to do something special here today. Meanwhile, when you take a look at the Bulldogs, you heard Buddy Pugh talk about his quarterback in Corey Fields.
Yes, Corey Fields makes it go. He's an offensive weapon for them. They throw the ball now. This is not your mom and dad South Carolina State where it was run the football all day. Willie Jeffries pounded cloud of dust, everything else. They want to throw the football. Corey Fields is that guy that makes it happen. The defense is getting better. Joe, where's Joe at? My man Joe Mumford, he's been out here all the time. We were talking about why is defense optional at South Carolina State. It doesn't go together. They need to have defense lock down the opposing offense, and we'll see what the offense continues to do. I think they can win because they score so many points and Morgan doesn't. But that's not saying they can't, because the Morgan defense may show up.
Well, don't forget about Jacoby Durant, the MEAC preseason defensive player of the year. He could go to the league. That's the next
go to the league. He's an
defensive
NFL
great.
guy.
He's an NFL guy in your book. Now, Jay, we talk about football, but we also have to get everything that encompasses the tailgating situation.
Yes, it's that time.
Coach Chef, where you at? We're looking for some good food, Coach Chef. What you got off the grill for us today?
Whoa!
Low country. We got the sausage and the shrimp. Conecuh sausage. You've been on this Conecuh sausage tip lately.
What's this in the middle? What is this in the middle?
And that's like the bourbon chicken you get at the mall. You know when you go.
I try it every week. You try it.
I don't know if I eat on camera. I don't know if I eat on camera.
I think you can take a shrimp.
I think you should.
Grab a shrimp.
Got a little piece of fat right there. All right. Coach Chef,
yes.
We talk about the game, we call the game, so we can't pick who's going to win. In your mind, who's got it today?
My Rydell pick is the South Carolina State Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs.
Has to be.
South Carolina State to win it.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to.
We'll see. You took a loss last time you were on the show. Ain't in bad. First loss on the year, but we'll see what you got.
We got more to come. How about next week? We'll be back in the nation's capital
on the world's most famous yard
versus Howard University. It's homecoming up that way. But until then, we're going to keep on kicking it here from Orangeburg, South Carolina, homecoming season for the Bulldogs. Morgan State, South Carolina State in action. Jay Walker, Coach Chef, Tiffany Greene, we out. You know I thought you knew. Go white, go blue.
College Live.
Black College Live.
Yeah. This is a Gimme 5 show with Jay Walker and Tiffany. Yeah. You gon' have to give me 5 fingers on it. Right now.
I'm all excited. You see that?
Wait until they see the strength and here to win. It's Black College Live. I'ma need 5 on it.
This is what it's all about.
Overtime on it. Lights out.
I'm gonna put him in the front runner seat to be the Black College Player of the Year.
This ain't for fun. I've been going done. They be still trying to clone it. From FAMU to Grambling, I'm on it. Stand on it. Marching 100 how you want it.
We always like to highlight the fraternities and sororities.
119! Oh, shit! What I wanna, big body. I don't even need a sponsor.
Homeboy was
balling. I be stacking comma at the comma. Guess I got good karma. I get it different. I be working on my off day. Into that paper, I go underlay. I get it different. I be working on my off day. Into that paper, you gon' have to give me 5 fingers on it. Right now.
Yeah, what more can you ask for? Let's go,
Bulldog. They see
Bulldog.
the strength and here to win. It's Black College Live. I'ma need 5 on it.
Going up.
They put overtime on it. Lights out. 5. You know how I run. This ain't for fun. I've been going done. They be still trying to clone it.
I love it.